Let's talk about measuring angles in GeoGebra. Let's just go to, if you go to GeoGebra, start GeoGebra Classic here, and let's just go to geometry there. We can make an angle, which is a union of two rays, not line segments or lines, okay, but rays. So there is an angle that we can make. It could be a zero angle, a straight angle, obtuse, right, or acute angle there. Okay, let's talk about measuring that angle. We could click on this tool here. We can measure the angle by clicking on one point on one side, the vertex, and the point on the other side. Looks like I have it set up by default to radians. Yours may come out in degrees. So let's talk about that a minute. Click on this three things here, go to settings, and go to this one that looks like a graph of a cubic equation. You can choose degrees. So there it is in degrees, 78.53 degrees. You can specify the number of decimal places. I think it was here. We want to show a few more places. We can. We can choose degrees, minutes, and seconds. There it is. And we can also choose radians. So in my class, I'm going to rather use radians at least most of the time. Now, we do have a problem here that if you take this around here to certain positions, it's measuring a rotation, not an actual angle. So if you click on here and go to settings, you can choose here between 0 and 180 degrees. And that forces it now, no matter where it is, to always measure an angle that'll be between 0 and pi if you're in radians, and between 0 and 180 degrees if you're in degrees. Okay. We can also create an angle of a specified size. A couple ways we can do that. We can start by creating an array. What we can do is use angle of a given size. You click, I think you click a point and then the vertex, and then you tell it the size. You can do it in radians or degrees. Let's say we we want to do 30 degrees. That will give us it will basically, what it'll do is it'll rotate this around this point by that amount, and you can complete it by completing the thing here. And so notice this point you can't really move. This stays that particular angle size that we want it to be. Let's do it again. Let's do one, see if we can do it in radians. So say we want to do a pi over 4 in radians. Let's see if we can do that. Angle, click here and here, and let's go to the keyboard, type in pi over divided by 4. Yep, that's in radians. That's that's a decimal approximation for pi over 4. Once again, take your ray and finish it up. We could have also done that one by converting to degrees and said that's 45 degrees. So that gives us a way we can do that. Let's also look at a couple other things real fast. Another way to get the same thing is this way. Take a ray here and use the rotate tool. Rotate about a point. We want to rotate B about this point through an angle, counterclockwise or clockwise, and by an angle, say 45 degrees counterclockwise, gives us that, and then give us the ray here. So now if we measure this angle, it should measure to be, we click here, here, and here. That's going to be 45 degrees or pi over 4 radians, which is approximately that. Okay, so we can make some angles like that. Another thing that we can do is maybe do an angle by a slider. So we make a slider, make an angle slider. This goes from 0 to 2 pi. I could just go from 0 to pi. I can just type pi radians, and that's fine. Okay, so this should go from 0 to pi, approximately pi there. I always like to do this with an input box as well. So this would be angle measure. Let's see if we can do it here. Alpha. Let's see here. Alpha equals, that's the caption, and link it to alpha. So now if I can go here, if I want to just type in, specific value like pi over 7, it will do it and give us the decimal here. Or I can adjust it there. Now let's suppose we don't want to make an angle that's like that size. Now we just do our array here and we do angle with a given size. We go here, here, and then choose alpha. See if I can get to it again. There we go. And so that's going to be that. And finish it up by making the array here. And if we want to, now we could just hide this guy because he's not really an important point as far as that. Or we could lift it there. Okay. And so now if we change this, see, it's going to go from a straight angle at 0 to, 0 angle to a straight angle and everything in between there. If you could put in, now notice another thing, if you put in exactly pi over 2, a right angle will have a different symbol when it marks what is a right angle there. All right, so I think that gives you an introduction to how you can build some angles in GeoGebra. If you use my GeoGebra environments for hyperbolic geometry and spherical geometry, they have similar tools that work in a very similar way for creating angles in those environments as well.